If you're playing Fortnite on controller, you need to turn this setting on, because today I'm going to show you how to instantly swap between any item in your inventory, being as quick as possible like you had keybinds enabled on mouse and keyboard. Then we'll jump into a match to see just how fast you can be compared to the old method and if this can help you win more games. Alright guys, so I just jumped into Toby1 Shinobi's training map, so if you're struggling with aim or you just need practice in general, you can check out the map code at the top of the screen, and I'll put the link to his channel in the description. Definitely go check him out. He's really good at teaching people tips and tricks on how to get better at the game, and also using his map code is really nice for me to make videos like this as well, so definitely going to give him credit there too. And also guys, if you enjoy these kinds of videos, can you please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and consider joining the Discord. It is a free community server in the description as well, and if you want to help support the channel, you can become a member, or you can do it for free by using my support creator code ZombiexD.N.A in the Fortnite item shop. So the other day I was streaming and the homie Falcor told me about quick weapon swapping. Shout out to you, bro. He is the only reason this video is happening and why I'm able to share it with you guys, because with all my years of playing Fortnite, I have never heard of this, so there might be a chance that you haven't heard of this either. So if you play on controller, whether it's on Switch, Xbox, or PlayStation, the only way to swap to your weapons is by using L1 and R1, your bumpers, whatever they're labeled on your controller, and it's slow. Sometimes if you're like me and you're in the heat of the moment and you were fighting somebody and you needed to switch to your shockwave but you accidentally pull out your rocket launcher, or if you needed to take some shields and you accidentally throw down a bunker, you know, it's really annoying. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be able to be confident in whatever weapon you're swapping to in that moment, just like if you were playing on mouse and keyboard. And that's the one disadvantage that console players have. Now, this video is not going to be a debate on if mouse and keyboard or console is better and who has more advantages, yada yada. That's not what I'm going to talk about. But I will say that keyboard players have hotkeys or keybinds, so they have to click one button or one key to get whatever weapon they like. Whereas, you know, console players, you have to flip through a bunch of stuff to get what you like. So we're going to go into our settings. We're going to check out this quick weapon swapping and see how this can get you to be on par with PC players, so you can be as quick as possible and win more games. So first things first, you're going to want to open up your settings and then scroll over until you see controller. And then you're going to scroll down and it's literally right here. It says quick weapon and it has 5 little settings underneath it. Now, if you've never done this before, yours should say custom only, but we're going to go ahead and enable this, and then you can hit apply and test. So now if you look at your inventory, you don't see L1 and R1, you only see R1. And if I press and hold it, this little menu pops up. And some of you are probably like, dude, what? I have never seen this before. You can just cycle through all your weapons. What is this? How long has this been in the game, dude? I was thinking the same thing. So now, if you look, you see square, triangle, circle, and X, and you can hold down R1 and you can just manually pick whichever item you want. I can swap to my shotgun, then I can swap to my RPG, my shockwaves, whatever you want your keybind to be, you get to choose how you lay this stuff out. So I can move my shockwave over here, I can move my bunkers there, I can move these over here, and then when I go back, now they're in a different alignment. The buttons don't change, but where your items are change. So if I pull up my menu again, you can see that my Hollow Twister AR doesn't have a button assigned to it. So how do you get to the middle one? So right now I'm holding R1, I'm just gonna let go and tap it. Now I have my Hollow Twister out, and if I want to switch back to that RPG, I'll just tap R1 again, and that's all it is. I can tap R1 and I swap through 2 main weapons. So how do you swap through your primary and your secondary? That's when you're going to want to go down to toggle behavior, and I'd highly recommend putting this to slot 2. So that's how you get to choose between 2 weapons of your choice that you want to be able to swap back and forth to as quickly as possible. And that, in my opinion, would be an AR and a shotgun, a spray weapon and then a shotgun. You can put this to none, but it won't do anything. And if you put it to previously equipped item, then this is what this will do. Let's say I switched over to my bunkers and then I wanted to switch to my AR. Let's say I threw down a bunker. I wanted to get up here and switch to my AR. I can press R1, I got my AR out. But now somebody's pulling up on me. I need to pull out my shotgun. If I press R1 again, it's just going to bring me back to my bunkers. No matter how many times I click it, it's just going to bring me back to my bunkers, because that's the last item that I manually selected. So if I go to my RPG, it's going to do the same thing. So whatever you manually click, if it was shockwaves, whatever, it's going to do the same thing. Next up is instant toggle. So I'm going to keep this off just for demonstration's sake, and then I'll turn it on and explain the difference. So what instant toggle does is makes it so immediately after you click R1, you go to your primary weapon. So right now I'm on my secondary. Clicking this back and forth would make it so it instantly goes to it. And when doing it this fast, it looks like it's going to it, even though I have it turned off. But it doesn't really have an effect until you pull up your diamond here. So if I'm holding R1 and I'm in, the mindset of trying to pick my next item, let's say I picked my pump and dump and I have this equipped, I'm shooting somebody, but I want to switch back to my AR. If I hold R1 again, it does not equip the hollow twister until I let go. Now you can see I pulled it out. But if I go back to this and then I switch my settings around and then I do the same thing, hold R1, as you can see, it's already selected my hollow twister before I let go. So basically, by default, the primary weapon is only selected after releasing the quick weapon button and not the instant it is pressed. This is to help players learn to press button combos to select other weapons. So I would recommend keeping this on just because you can select your primary weapon as quick as possible, but even still holding it, I still have the option to pick a different weapon. It just allows me to automatically switch to my AR as fast as possible. So turning this off, I don't think is really necessary. And then we got button group. This is basically what buttons do you want to use to switch through all your weapons. So I have mine on face buttons. That's my square, X, circle, triangle. But you can also have this to your D-pad or both. Now the only reason I would click my D-pad is so I can jump while switching through my weapons. And what I mean by that is that if you're on PlayStation like myself, for example, you jump with X. And since I'm using my D-pad to cycle through all my weapons, I can still jump while having this open. The only thing I don't really like about it is that I have to kind of do a claw mode because most people don't have pro controllers or back buttons like I do. So you have to take your thumb off the right stick to jump, and then you'd have to use like your left pointer finger to swap through all your weapons. So unless you play like in a claw style, this probably won't be for you. Now, like I said, I do have a pro controller and I have back buttons, but it's still mapped to X. So even though I have an X on the front and the back, it doesn't matter what I click. It's just going to assume that I want to equip my bunkers. As you can see right here, every time I press X, it's going to do that instead of me jumping. But if you think this is a negative, let me try to change your mind here. Because imagine you were hiding behind cover and you were shooting at somebody peeking at you, right? You don't want to be in the habit of keeping this wheel open so long so you can jump around and try to figure out what you want. You're like, wait, Whenever you do this, you want to be as quick as possible, being able to cycle through whatever weapons you have or heals, whatever you want to have in your brain. Hey, I like to keep my heals on circle. I like my shotgun on square. I like this on triangle, this on this, and etc. You know that your primary weapon's always going to be your front slot. But everything else, this is when you're going to have to kind of take your time, go into some creative maps or maybe Shinobi's map like I am, or even just regular games and kind of figure out where you want to put stuff. What do you carry most often? Not every game you're going to have the same exact items, but overall, in general, what do you want to keep in which slots? And last but not least is the show diamond delay. This is that pop-up that you've been seeing this entire video. After a while, I would actually recommend shutting this off. So then when we come back to our game and I hold R1, that diamond does not show up. So I would recommend shutting this off after a few days of playing with it, after you're a little bit used to it, because you don't want to depend on that wheel to know where you're going, especially because if you look at your item slots, you still see square, triangle, circle, and X. And the old way of swapping through your weapons on controller, you would probably naturally look down there anyway, so having those little buttons there too is definitely nice to have. And like I said in the intro, we are going to be jumping into some actual matches and seeing how well I perform with this, even though I've only used this for about a day. But before we jump into a match, one more small little tip for you is that I don't know if this will happen on Switch or Xbox, but for me, I'm so used to using L1 and R1, so every time I would try to do this, I would be noticing, oh wait, I'm still switching back and forth between two weapons, and then I hit L1, and then I pinged. I was like, why do I now ping with L1? And I can mark danger. I have this marked with the left D-pad. You can see right there, it says cancel marker. I have to hit left to do that. And if I press my D-pad, that's what I ping with. Now, if this happens to you, go to your settings, go to controller mapping, and scroll down until you see previous weapon. Mine is marked as L1. you're going to want to go to the right and hit this little X and just unassign that button. But now you have the option to assign whatever button you want to L1 since you're not going to really use it anymore. So that is up to you. Have fun. Figure out what you like to use. So now when I come back to the game, I can hit left on the D-pad to ping, but when I hit L1, nothing happens. So if this happened to you, maybe unassign L1 for now until you get used to your training, because maybe it'll help your brain kind of understand that, hey, no matter how much I press this button, it's not going to do anything. It's all R1. It's all R1 here. That's how you switch through your stuff. And this is why I highly recommend using Toby's map, because you can just sit here and practice all you want. He's got all these different rooms where you can practice different scenarios like you might encounter in an actual game. He's got these dummies that just sit here. After you shoot them, they'll just respawn. He's got a bunch of different weapons you can choose from, and you're not going to have to worry about being contested every 2 seconds. And this is where I like to practice swapping between my primary and my secondary, being an AR and a shotgun. Yours might be different. So I can shotgun, switch to my AR, spray, back to the shotgun, boom. And then you can figure out where do you like to keep your shockwaves, or your sniper, or your bunkers, or your heals. This is where you can kind of dial in what button feels the most comfortable so you can get that muscle memory to swap to it without having to use this diamond here. Alright, so we learned what quick weapon swapping is, we got the settings to where we want it, we're comfortable, we know where our items are, so let's go ahead and jump into a few matches, and let's see how we do. Yeah, I'm basically practicing in this video. I haven't really played today at all. First time playing today, so we're kind of going through this together here. So, like I said, if you guys are feeling frustrated and you feel like you're being really slow and sluggish and you're hitting the wrong buttons on mistake, like, just know, dude, you've been playing the same way for however long you've been playing the game, so of course it's going to take a little while for you to get it used to a new mechanic. So, just take it from me. You see me struggling as well, so don't feel too bad. Just keep working at it, and eventually you'll probably notice you're actually faster than you ever were before. And also remember, if you're only doing stuff that's easy, then you're never going to be better. You always got to find stuff that challenges you, you know? Grab that. Okay, I'm actually going to get rid of this, put that there. Nope, I didn't want to get rid of the shockwave. Get rid of that. Put that here, I'll put that there. How about that? Cool. Oh! Oh! Woo! Wow, that could have been bad. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but real quick, I had the SMG out, and then I double tapped R1 instead of pulling up the menu and pressing square to go to my shotgun. I think I'm going to start doing that from here on out, because that was a lot quicker. So if you know that you're on a different weapon, and you want to be able to get to your secondary just as fast as your primary, just double tap that setting and make sure you have it on slot 2. There we go, get some slap juice, and somebody's coming over here. Let's heal up real quick. Oh, it's another bot. I had a medkit though. I'll just wait right here for you. We're good. I don't want that anyways. I know that guy's very upset. Sorry, dude. This might be dumb. Woo! We are on fire, dude. Yeah, yeah! There we go. That was a little sloppy. Ooh, but look what we got. We got a purple. Nope, go back to that. There we go. And also, I like this one better. Way better shotgun. I didn't like the pump shotgun in the beginning because it seemed really slow, but I've come to like it a little bit more. No. Oh, dude, I was so close. Oh, dude, I was so close. I am beyond disappointed right now. There are no words to describe how disappointed I am that I didn't win that game. I was so close, but it is what it is. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, can you please smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already? Be sure to check out the Discord, it's in the description. And if you want to help support the channel, you can become a member, or you can do it for free by using my support or creator code, ZombiexD.N.A, in the item shop. Feel free to check out some of my other videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Doses.